In 1934, my grandfather Michał Sapp and his mother Maria left their home of Prusek, Poland to pursue a life in Canada. Despite how much he longed to return to visit his homeland, he never got the chance. But 87 years later, I was able to come back for him and discover my Polish heritage. I came to Poland this past season to play professional basketball. While I was in Poland, my mom discovered a letter my grandfather had received from his cousin in Poland, and so I decided to send her a letter, hoping that she still lived at the same address from the letter at the time. Much to my amazement, she replied. We communicated a bit and decided that I would come down after my basketball season was done before I went home to meet my cousins and see the place where my grandfather came from. And that's where our story begins. So our season had just ended, and I had packed my life back into my 2 suitcases. My good friend Ivana was able to come with me for this adventure, and she was able to help translate, since my cousin didn't speak much English, and my Polish didn't go much past hello and thank you. We then drove to Przemysl, which was about a 9-hour drive from Gdańsk. We are like 20 minutes away. I was so excited to meet my family, but also a little bit nervous of what to expect.
Miło mi się poznać.
Well, those nerves quickly dissipated, and I had what was one of the most memorable weekends I think I'll ever have. The day after we arrived, we left their home in Przemysl to drive to their cabin in Prusek, which is the village where my grandpa is from. It was a beautiful drive there as we wound our way through the Bieszczady Mountains. On our way to Prusek, we stopped at Sanok, which is where my cousin Maria went to school when she was a child, as it's just across the hill from Prusek. She showed us the city and its sights, as much as we could see at least, since most things were still closed due to the pandemic. While we weren't able to go into any museums, Maria shared a lot of stories, so I was able to learn a lot about her life experience and the history of the area. We finally made it to Prusek. The cabin we stayed at was on the same plot of land that my grandpa was raised on, and the house he was born in and lived the first 9 years of his life in was still standing. It was so special to be able to see it there and to imagine my young grandfather walking through the doors that I was now standing by. While we were in Prusek, I also got the chance to meet Maria's sister and some of my other cousins. We shared some meals together, and while the language barrier wasn't ideal, it was still so special to share those moments with my newly found family members. It was all so surreal, and I just felt so blessed to be there, after all those years and generations that had passed, and to be welcomed with them with such open arms. While we're talking about meals, I suppose I should mention the incredible array of Polish cuisine I was presented with during my visit. Fish, or yeah.
Ryba po grecku.
Okay, and then what's this one called?
Kurczak w galarycie.
And that.
Sałatka warzywna.
Okay, and then we got some herbal butter, some pickles, meats. Wow. I think I might have tried every single Polish dish that exists over the 3 days that I was there. And before you say that's impossible, you're wrong. Cheese? Oh. As it turns out, Maria is an incredible cook. From the minute we arrived to us driving away with snacks and a box of 27 fresh homemade Polish donuts, we didn't stop eating. I can't even remember the names of half the things we tried, but they were amazing. Thank goodness for my athletic metabolism, or I think I might have been rolling onto my plane home due to all the carbs that are the cornerstone of Polish cooking. Before I came, Maria told me that she would definitely make some pierogi for me, and I asked her if she would be able to teach me her secret recipe. And the night before I left, she did just that. I got to help her with the process from beginning to end, from the pile of flour to carefully folding in the fillings, and the best part, eating them fresh. It was definitely a tedious process, but Maria was an expert, so I knew they were going to be great. It was fun to share those moments with her too, and we communicated the best that we could as we made some sweet pierogi and bonded over our love of raspberries, or as they're known in Polish, malina. Bye-bye.
tylko zobaczyć, tu może więcej. Dobre.
As I think back over this visit, I'm just overwhelmed with emotions. It's absolutely insane how this game of basketball has led me all over the world and has now led me right back here to my roots. I feel so grateful for the way that my family welcomed me into their lives with open arms and open hearts. The distance and time that had separated us before was all irrelevant. We were family, and the connection we shared was real. History is a funny thing. You can't change it, for it's already happened. But it can change you, and it has changed me. Learning this piece of where I've come from will forever be treasured in my heart, and it inspires me to carry on this legacy wherever I go. And who knows, maybe it'll be a story worth telling in 87 years.